Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's episode, the Amur Maple, the dug up monster. It's even bigger than the last one. We're going to see if we can put it down into a little bit smaller pot and get some pumice in there. Let's get to work. About a week or two back, I got the other Amur Maple into a pot. When I collected this urban Yamadori last year with my friend Steve, we grabbed a couple from this cluster from the house that didn't want them anymore. This is even bigger than the last one. We got to get this thing out of here, get a lot more pumice and bonsai soil to help working on this root structure now. This is a big cluster clump style bonsai that's just all over the place up here. We tried the air layer up here, it didn't work last year, but let me show you some of the red buds close up. Every spring you always wonder if your trees are going to bloom out. And you can see the very bottom of this big Amur Maple that we dug out has an absolute boatload of buds. Right here, right there, 3 or 4 right there in front of my finger. Cluster of 3 or 4 down there, way down here at the base of this trunk. We got this hollow right here. We got all of this life right here. Got some red right here. We got some red right there. We got a little tiny red one right here. We got a red one right here. On the back one right here, we have some red ones right there. So we got this big cluster with plenty of buds. Now the trick is going to be getting this monster out of this thing without destroying the buds. There's little buds just ready to pop out here now, so this is a perfect time for me to get this thing in a new pot before I destroy these buds. I'm just going to have to be careful where I touch the tree. Little tiny buds everywhere, so there's life in here. It wants to push out. Even the bottom part that has the hollow area, it's going to be kind of cool to see what this tree can do in the course of this growing season. So we're going to try to get this thing out of the pot. It's kind of a breezy day today, and this is going to take a long time, so we'll record some of it, and we'll start digging into this thing and get it into its new pot. Once I tipped over the big heavy pot, the weight of the tree alone and the big thick heavy branches, I knew I'd have a lot of leverage to just kind of angle this thing and kind of lean it right out of the pot. Most of the weight of this beast of a pot is dirt. The tree's pretty heavy too, but I think what I'll try to do now is take this over off here into the ground. I'm going to flip this over and try to carry this thing on top of the bottom side and continue to work on it. The biggest goal of this big, huge monster is to see if I can cut out some of the big, chunky roots, get it as flat as possible, and we'll see if it's going to fit in the new pot, which the new pot looks almost as big as the old one, but I did make it at least an inch thinner in diameter all the way around. So we'll take off some of the big chunky roots at the bottom. We're going to try to maintain the fine roots that we have here to keep those growing and keep those producing energy to the new buds that are everywhere. So here's the bottom of our tree. The last remaining parts of the thick dirt. And then we're going to have to see what size saw I'm going to need. Probably the big hand saw to get rid of some of these roots. Because like are smaller bonsai trees. I don't want this big bottom section to chunk out. Right here, I don't want this bulk here. We have to get rid of some of that. With the warmth comes a lot of sweat, but it's so good to be working outside with this warm weather. We got a layer of coarse soil for the bottom. 5-gallon bucket worth. And let's give it its retro fit. I don't know what's going to be the front of this tree. It has the hollow part here. You can twist it around. There's a nice hollow part there. It's a more attractive front right there. Somewhere like that. So that's looking really, really good. I think we'll put it right there. We'll get this first wire back down here. A spot that won't interfere too much with the tree. Right. We have a pretty solid tree in there now. A couple of wires, one in the front, one in the back. I'm going to get some of my recycled soil to fill in the rest of this box. Got the fresh stuff on the bottom. Let's go get some recycled soil. So this batch of soil has a little bit of sphagnum moss that's just kind of lingering around in there. but this is a maple tree that won't worry about being as wet. But as I sift the soil around with my bare hands, then I end up getting these clumps of sphagnum, and I can take them right off. And this is the top portion of the tree. That sphagnum moss would hold some moisture retention anyway, so I'm not too worried. This is a tree that was an urban Yamadori, right? So we took it out of the ground in somebody's front yard, and we just wanted to survive. So I'm not worried about brand new bonsai soil. By far the biggest repot of the bonsai I've ever done. We've got a pot that's about 1 inch to 2 inches narrower. Did a lot of really good root pruning, got some of those big chunky roots gone. It's much flatter. I've got all these red buds popping up, and I only bumped a couple along the process. Now that I got water on them, they're kind of glowing red. It's really fun. So there are buds everywhere on this center section. Buds on the back here, I can see them everywhere. This will stay in this pot for probably 2 full years. So we'll just let it push out a lot this year. We'll cut it back. We'll let it grow out next year, and we'll cut it back. I probably can take all of these down another foot for sure with all these new buds coming in. These Amur maples really grow like a weed, so I think we'll have a lot of luck with this. The only risk I have is when it goes below freezing this week, Monday and Tuesday, I might have to put a blanket around this pot. Now, this is a really big pot with a lot of soil in here, so some of those roots are really well protected. And if it's 32 out here, it's going to be a little warmer perhaps in the pot with such a big pot. But I don't want to take that risk with the new repot, so I'll probably put a blanket around here or two and keep it that couple extra degrees warmer. Okay, another mess has been made and I'm sweating like a pig. Time to end the show. Hey, take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you again very, very soon.